Have you ever wanted to build a city in Minecraft but found that it takes so long to do each building, and like 3 or 4 buildings in, you just give up because you don't have the patience to continue? Or maybe you do have the patience but just not the building skill to make the houses look how you want? I have the answer for you. Welcome to Let's Build a Miniature City. Boom! This is the start of a miniature city, and check it out. This skyscraper is 2 blocks high. That's all it is, 2 blocks high. This tree, it's a sapling. By the way, I've got a piece of string sitting on top of the sapling. I'm hoping that's going to stop it from growing. Otherwise, we're going to have this huge birch tree next to this skyscraper. And each road piece is only 1 block tall, or is only 1 block. So skyscraper, 2 blocks. Sapling, 1 block. Buildings will be 1 block. It's going to be so cool. Now, my idea for this is to actually rebuild and build along with our main Let's Build a City series. So you might recognize this building. This is the first skyscraper that we built on the city, and I just used that as a test building for this. So if you imagine our whole city island that we're doing on the full-scale version, we should say, this one's going to be a miniature one on top of what I hope to be like a giant table. So it's going to have a table with like a model city on it, with the water and the beach and the pier and the prison, but just small, and maybe we'll put it inside like a kid's bedroom or something like that. We're obviously going to be making our own this is my own texture on this building here that I retextured. Once the texture pack is done, at the end of the series, I'll release it to you guys so you can build your own miniature city, which is only going to take minutes or hours instead of months and years. Now, I do have a base for this texture pack that I'm using. I'm using Simply Sharp's 32-bit texture pack for 1.10. Now, I chose the texture pack as like a starting base. It doesn't have any roads or any buildings or anything in it. It's just like a normal vanilla Minecraft texture pack, because it had this sort of cartoon simple look, which is exactly what we're going for this miniature model city. We don't want nothing too we don't want realistic looking grass. We want it a little bit cartoony, and it was perfect for it. So what I've done is I've then and I really like the UI and like the text and everything like that. It's really, really nice, and like my hotbar and stuff like that, really, really cool. But I've taken the texture pack and I've been editing blocks in it. Now, that does mean that for the moment, I'm not really allowed to like release this texture pack to you guys, because I'm basically just using someone's texture pack and then editing it and re-releasing it, which just isn't allowed. But once the city's completed, hopefully every single block will be changed, all the UI will be changed, and it'll be a completely different texture pack to where we started with the Simply Sharp one, and then I can release it. But I'm just using this as a base to give me a little bit of inspiration. So how is this whole setup done, or this miniature setup done? Well, we've got the road pieces, which are the straight road pieces are just 2 different planks. So we've got oak wood planks, that's really loud in my ear, and we've got spruce wood planks for like east and west, north and south. Now, it has it on all 4 sides, but why did I do it on wood? Well, quite simply, it's because when we go to slabs, it gives us the 2 different slab textures as well, in case we wanted to go up. So then we can get a little bit of an incline. I know it's on the side. As I said, there are severe limitations by building a city when the houses are 1 block and that's it. Of course, there's going to be limitations on what we can do and what we can't do. We don't have round blocks for round skyscrapers. We don't have like triangle pieces for roofs. So there's going to be some parts that aren't going to look as good as others. But I think if we texture certain things in a certain way, we can give the effect that it actually has a peaked roof and actually has some special things going on. I'm really, really excited about it. So that's why I chose planks for that. The corners are actually made out of 2 different, if I can grab where the other one is, there we go, 2 different logs. So They're actually tree trunk logs. I might have to retexture the tops and the bottoms for some at some time, for whatever reason I can't think of at the moment. But the reason why I need 2 is because a log, where's just a normal log? There we go, there's a birch log. A log, when placed on its side, can go in 2 directions. I thought it could go in all 4. I thought if I go like there and there, this one's facing towards me that way, that one's going that way, that one's going that way, and that one's going that way. But it's not. They can only actually rotate 2 directions. So both of those ones are facing that way, and both of these ones are facing that way. Which means that we can get away with using 1 block for 2 different corners. So we can have one that turns that way, and one that turns that way. And then use the other log, which I've used spruce logs for, to turn that way and turn that way. So we've got all 4 corners. Then I've got just a birchwood plank for the crossroads, and just jungle wood. And jungle wood and another wood, I think, isn't it? Wood. Or do I need to do another one? Pretty sure I had... no, there we go. Jungle wood and dark oak wood. So we've got the birchwood planks for our crossroads. Obviously, we don't need to have this rotate at all. It's the same in all 4 directions. And then the same story as the corners here for the T-junctions. There's 2 other different logs. One for that way, one for that way, one for that way, and one for that way. So we actually have, you know, facing left, facing right, facing up, and facing down. So we've got every possible direction that a road could go in order to build our full-scale city in miniature. Now, as long as I remember, that's still loud in my ear. As long as I remember, I'm going to put up on screen in the corner the overviewer image of our full-scale city, in the hopes that we can use that as a reference. I can see it on my other monitor, but we can use that as a reference into building the start of the road layout again for our city. Now, the road layout for the full-scale city, I done off camera. Before the city series even started, I got all the roads set up. So episode 1 already had all the roads set in. But I can tell you that during that road system, took probably, let's be realistic here, probably around 5 days. 5 to 7 days. About a week. Let's say a week to do just the road system with the elevated highway and, you know, all the street lights and all the paths and stuff like that. And that's a lot of hours. That's like, I don't know how many hours a day I was spending on that. Probably around 6 hours a day or something like that to get it exactly how I liked. So let's use this skyscraper as the main sort of start for us. We need a T-junction facing that way. That was really lucky. Now, I am going to get the logs wrong for a long time about which ones I exactly need. But we're off to a good start, at least. So, this... I can't remember. The overviewer is actually inhibiting a lot of the... or some of the roads, at least. But we definitely have this little part here. And then we have... this one is the maze bank. So, there'll be the maze bank there. For the moment, I suppose I should just put down, like, a couple of buildings, like, or it gives us the idea. We'll retexture that to look somewhat like the maze bank. Oh, and then the top. This skyscraper, by the way, is actually made out of 2 different blocks. We've got granite, which is the, like, skyscrapery apartment block part. And then the top here, because obviously we can actually see the windows on the top, which isn't good. This is just a carpet. So I've just used magenta carpet there. So if I go to wool, we've got the magenta wool. It's actually like the helicopter pad, but on all the sides. And then if we look at the carpet version, it just gives us a nice top. So we'll use the other carpets here for other roof types in order to cover up this mess that you see on the top. So that's how that works. I'm going to actually remove those so we don't have those in. So we have the maze bank, and then we have a little bit of a space next to it. And then we go to a crossroads. Now, some of the crossroads and some of the angles of the T-junction are going to have, like, in the full city, it might be like there and there that it has the stops. But here we have them on the other. It doesn't matter. The road layout is still going to be exactly the same. We then need two of these before we come to a T-junction. I need it the other way. like that. And this is where the town hall sits. So that would roughly be like 3 blocks wide, like that. And this is going to wrap around the town hall, there, and there. And then the corners, like that. And like that. Oh, I thought I was going to get really lucky, like get like 5 blocks in a row done. Okay, now we get to some parts that we have to decide pretty early on what we're going to do. For most of the roads, it's easy. They're just 1 lane in either direction. But you might remember that the road that goes down Rainbow Row, in between, you know, Rainbow Row, the town hall, and underneath the elevated railway, is actually 2 lanes in either direction. We can either, what I don't want to do, because I don't think we have enough blocks for it, is retexture another road to have 2 in each direction. Or option number 2 is to actually do something like that to give us... Oh no, like that, sorry, we only needed 2. Something like that to give us the 2 lanes in either direction. Like so. That's going to work a lot better, and we'll also use this technique for the motorway. Obviously, the motorway in the full-scale city is 3 lanes in either direction, but if we keep changing blocks just to do the roads, we're going to have nothing left to build all of the other buildings out of, are we? So I think we'll stick with 2, and then to get all these joined up, we're going to need that, and then that. And then they can continue on going that way and that way. Okay, that gives us a pretty good start. And obviously the elevated railway sits above it. It would, in the real full-size city, it sits in the middle, and we have the trees that go between. We don't have the space for that in the miniature city. What other limitations are there? Obviously, there's limitations on how many blocks that we have to choose buildings with. There's a lot of blocks in Minecraft that we can change. You know, we've got each clay can be a different building, or the quartz can be a different building. The limitations really come when you get to the smaller scale. Things like the crane, for example. Obviously, we can use the cobblestone wall to look a little bit like... retexture into yellow to look like a crane, you know, for the building site. But that means all cobblestone walls are going to be yellow, and we might want to use that for something else. For example, like the cathedral towers. Things like trees become very, very difficult, because obviously I had a tree in earlier, but you can only fit 1 tree per square. I can't put like another tree in there to make like a small foresty area. You just have to have 1 single tree. I tried short grass like ferns, or that's not that. Double tall grass. I just search grass. Thank you. And normal grass. And although you could use this as like trees or bushes or something like that, that's way too tall. And that's sort of... Well, it doesn't stand out enough, but it doesn't really look like trees. It looks like grass, doesn't it? So there's a limitation there. And then the same as like detail around the edges of buildings. We can make a block that looks like a car park. That's not a problem. But like walls that go around houses, and you know, walls and street lights and cars and bridge sides. You know, when we get to the bridges over that side, we're not going to be able to actually have either side of the bridge, because we don't have like tiny little blocks. Now, I did think about adding micro blocks mod for this series. This is just a completely unmodded vanilla game. Do I have world edit? I don't even have world edit. This is 100% vanilla. Anybody could do this if they just changed their texture pack. And I was thinking about adding micro blocks, because obviously we can then get tiny little blocks to put in. However, microblocks has a limitation of its own, that even though the block might be only that big out of the full block, you can still only place 1 inside a block area. So I couldn't stack like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, to get like a hedge line going along the edge of this road, or, you know, pillar them up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make a little street, like a little tiny miniature street light, because microblocks just doesn't allow you to do that. you can only have one micro block per block area. Maybe there's a mod out there that allows you to do that and allows you to like stack up tiny little blocks. I highly doubt it, because I don't think that Minecraft itself will allow you to do that. But I do need your help on this series for ideas, interesting, different ideas that I just haven't thought of and I won't be able to think of. You guys are awesomely smart at thinking up of these kind of things. So I would love to hear it. Please remember that maybe changing one block like wood changes all of the other types. We are in Minecraft 1.10, so we do have like all the different fence types and stuff like that. So we can be pretty creative with that. And being in 1.10, it gives us a few more blocks than it does back in 1.7 that our full-scale city is on, because we have like per blocks, which on its own gives us like 4 different blocks or 4 extra blocks. But yeah, let me know on some crazy fun ideas that could really help us enhance the look of this. I don't know how well it's actually going to look when we get further on. When I built that first skyscraper, like you saw at the beginning of the episode, it looked really cool. But I don't know how it's going to progress. I don't know if by the end it's going to look terrible. But we're going to give it a go. We'll go for as long as we can until it looks bad. If it looks bad quickly, then we'll just stop it. If it looks good, we'll carry it on until we finish, maybe. I'm just going to cut away for a little bit, and I'm going to do a little bit of this road setup here. Because it's actually taking... it's a little bit more difficult than I thought to do on camera. So I shall be back. Okay, so I've been going for quite some time here. I didn't expect this to go... within 5 minutes. I mean, you're pushing it anyway, making a city within a few hours or a few days instead of weeks and stuff like that. But I tell you something, I'm having a bunch of fun while doing this. There's a lot of thought that needs to go into it, more so for me than what it would be for you, because I'm trying to build a replica of a city that I've already sort of started and we're progressing through, when you guys will probably be able to start your own city from scratch, so you don't have to worry about making things match up and making sure that you've got enough room for certain things and buildings and stuff like that. Now, there's one thing that I don't like and one thing that we expected. Number thing that we expected was I need to change the face of this log to something else. Number 2, the thing that I don't like is that we can see the edge of the road along here. Now, there are a few ways that we can sort of get around that. Cobblestone walls are probably the most common way. Like, we could have something like this along here, and as you can see, bam, suddenly we can't see. I know this sort of blocks up the roads here, but I'm just giving you guys an idea. You can't see the edge of the roads anymore. It's at least more hidden, and I think it certainly needs that. This is where the water is, by the trees and stuff like that. The orange trees and stuff. The only road that I couldn't fit in is a road that goes down between here, like between this block and this block. Where this line is, there should be a road that goes down. This spot is currently empty, but then this one would have the police station. This one has the Pig's Restaurant, and this one is the KFC. But there's a road between the police station and the Pig's Restaurant, but we just can't fit it in. And if we made everything 1 block wider, it would throw the rest of the city out of proportion and just wouldn't look very good. However, I think this is looking okay. I think it's really fun to see, especially since though that we are trying to replicate a city. Like I said, if you're building this for yourself, you know, when the series ended and I've released the texture pack to you guys, hopefully that's the plan, then you don't have to worry about, you know, is this building in the way? Does that road go through there? Does this need to be there? You know, you can just sort of basically go for it. This road is a little bit 1 block too far over. Like, I'm worried about 1 block over. Like, in the full-scale city, if something was like 1 block out, you really wouldn't need to do all that much. You know what I mean? It'd just be like, oh yeah, it's 1 block out, no problem. On this, 1 block is literally a building's distance. Like, a massive difference between it. But I hope you guys are starting to see, you know, this little section goes off to the, let's get that back as well, to the port. Wrong way. That's the one. There is like this weird sort of double thing going on, but I don't think we've got the room for that here. And then it comes down. We have a T-junction. It goes up that way and this way. I'm going to do 2. Put a corner in. Wrong way. That's the one. I'm getting better as well. I'm starting to know if I face north, which is that way, it makes the blocks in your hotbar make a lot more sense. Like this one, see how the T is facing, like the bottom of the T is facing down towards me? It is when I place it. Same as this one when it's facing up. If I place it there, the T faces up. So it actually makes like a bunch of sense if you stand north. Doing it sideways is a little bit more tricky, but I'm getting used to it. I certainly am. And the corners are always going to be a pain no matter what, but that was just like brilliant by me. And I think we have a T-junction that way. I got that wrong even though I just spoke about it. That one. Back down there. And there. Okay, so that's where the port is. Oh, we need one facing that way with the crane in the middle and stuff like that. I started to carve away the river. I needed to know where the river was, so I knew where the little bridge was going to go. And now that we've got that, we can sort of carve away up to the port here, like so. I don't know how close we want to get to the roads or anything like that yet. I'm really not 100% sure. But you know, this will come around the front here. This is where the cargo ship is. And yeah, I think you guys sort of, you know, get the idea. And then what we do is we put it onto a table and maybe build like a room that for this whole thing to sit in, and boom. So that's pretty much the width of the building, all the way from the port to the Amanda Hotel and the private island just off the coast. And this is the very south of the map. You know, the pier would come off exactly here. Let's get some sand. And we'll go. I haven't done the bridge, the little double bridge that goes over this highway. This road joins up together and we'll run up here past the garage and the primary school, and then eventually up to here where the hospital will be, and then it doubles back around under on itself underneath the bridge and connects back up with that small one. And then above that we have the housing estate, the mountain, the snow mountain and the airport and stuff like that going on there. Now I just want to sort of get an idea here with the sand. We have the multi-story car park just off there. So the sand should be able to go somewhere like this for the beach. Like this. 1 block of sand is going to suffice. I don't think that you'd really need any more than 1 block. That was a weird noise. Did you hear that? It was like a noise. And down. The beach sort of gets wider here. Like we have a lot more sand on this corner, don't we? Something like that. And then I'm just going to sort of drop it in and out randomly, really. Like that. Getting towards the dock area, where it gets a little bit, or 1 block sort of further out again. And boom. So yeah, we can definitely start to see our island taking shape here. I've worked so much on that city that, you know, everything is like nearly ironed into my brain. But that is going to do it for this episode. Next episode, we'll have to continue doing the road sections. But once the road sections are done, we can then open up Photoshop and start texturing our blocks into our entire buildings. It's so cool. I shall see you guys in the next one. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. I really do appreciate it, especially on a new series. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe to keep up to date with all of my latest videos.